Greetings and salutations from Microsoft Can. Today I will tell you how to disassemble the Pietta reproduction of the Remington 1858 revolver. We start by removing the single screw that holds the trigger guard. Next, remove the screw that holds the trigger grips. Take care that the screwdriver does not slip and mar the wood. Pulling the grips from the frame can sometimes be difficult, because you don't want to put so much stress on them that they would split. Remove the screw that holds the trigger and bolt flat spring in place. This spring is very important to the safe operation of this gun. If it stops pushing the bolt up into the cylinder, it is possible the gun may fire without the cylinder hole being properly aligned with the barrel, which could cause serious damage to the shooter and gun. On the other hand, if the spring fails to put tension on the trigger, you may release the hammer and fire the gun when you are not expecting it to fire. This spring is what partially governs trigger pull weight, and weakening it or replacing it with a weaker spring is sometimes done to reduce trigger pull weight. As I already said, though, care must be taken that the spring still does its job to ensure a safe gun. Before removing the mainspring, back out the tension screw until it does not contact the spring. You now should be able to wiggle the mainspring out of the frame. I am now removing the screw that holds the hammer in place. This is really the only tricky part of the gun to disassemble. The trick is to first push the hammer down through the frame until the screw to remove the cylinder hand is exposed. After the hand is removed, you can then pull the trigger up out of the frame. Finally, just to show how completely the gun comes apart, I will remove the rammer and cylinder rod. It, like so many other parts on this gun, is simply held in place with a single screw. And that is all of the moving components in a Remington 1858. The barrel is unscrewed, but that probably is a bad idea since that will affect how the gun aims if you don't put it back to the exact same spot. Also, you don't want to mess up the threads. Now, as I reassemble the gun in high speed, I am lubricating it with a dry lubricant as I go. I favor dry lubricants for black powder guns, because it does not wet the powder and cause misfires. Most people recommend that before each shooting session you shoot a cylinder of just caps to clear out any oil. I never have to do that because I use a dry lubricant. My gun always fires the first cylinder without problems. You will notice here that I check that the cylinder rotates properly when the trigger is kept all the way back. That is because if the trigger and bolt spring is not quite putting enough pressure on the bolt, this is where that will show up. Also, after having a gun like this apart, it never hurts to check that the half-cock notch is working properly. Finally, check the full cock position to check that the hammer will not fall from a nudge. Thank you for watching my video. Take care of your gun and it will take care of you.